Hi, welcome to No Construction. Um, so to start off, today, July 17th, uh, I was at Commissioner's Court, and after citizen comments, someone stopped me. I don't know if they want me putting their name out there, so I'm not. Stopped me and said, I'm going a little fast. Uh, and if it's too much to say in one, let's center this a little better. One go, like 1 3 minute deal. Save it for next week. That is a mighty good suggestion. I didn't even plan to say it as fast as I did. Uh, I think when I was practicing, it was about 240, 245. I mean, I know I spit those words out. I'll cover it. I'm covering it next week, but I'll also take that. I won't take it. I will take the advice. I won't take it into consideration. I will take the advice. Um, but to my defense, here comes the excuse. You know what I say we'll say this week. What I say this week might be invalid next week, or I come across something that might I need to say more. I feel it's more important to say than what the continuation of the previous week's speech was. Uh, I do try to write it to where, hey, I'm not going to go above 3 minutes. Sorry for the dead space and all that. But we didn't have commissioners court 2 weeks ago. But I still had what I said this week for that week. So, I've had pretty much, well, it might be near a month for this one speech, but 2 3 weeks to work on it. I go, how I do my speeches. I'm not saying how anybody does their speeches makes me unique because I'm so different from doing theirs. I'm not saying it's any different. I don't know. I don't know how they do their speeches. But it's like, okay, no. Oh, man, allergies, huh? I come up with what I want to say in general, and then try to put it into coherent words. And then, being that I have nothing but time, pretty much, I work on the speech for almost a week straight. Well, I can't say several hours every day, but it probably averages out to that. So I get started. Instead of this, I can say that. It sounds better. Try to work on my grammar, punctuation, all that good stuff. And then before I know it, it's an hour later. So no matter how bad the speech is, definitely the effort is there. And I'm trying to condense the best I can what should take 10 minutes into 3 minutes. So I can't cover everything. But I will take into consideration, I should have told the person that stopped me, hey, I got this channel. I'll do my best to slow down a bit. But on my channel here, no one watches. Slow down. I take my time. All that good stuff. Again, it's covered in next. Here it goes. 5 minutes, huh? In my next speech, there's a reason why I leave after citizen comments. Because there's nothing a citizen can say That's going to change that commissioner's court's mind on anything. They had somebody that lived before and under Castro a bit for this THF business, Texas Housing Foundation, and said, this is how it started. We're not getting there as fast, but we're still on the track. The people, I said in this one, but, there's people in California. If they're not coming directly to Williamson County, they're coming to Austin, finding their money isn't going as far as they thought, and then they're moving to Williamson County. California's bringing their crazy here, which is fine. They are entitled to their own opinion and thoughts. I'm not disagreeing that, but I'm not going to put up with it when it affects me financially, emotionally, and I guess with the smog physically. So I guess enough with that. Let's go on for what I said during Commissioner's Court. I keep saying all this construction is like a drug for politicians because it does the same thing. Tried it once and it felt good. Did improve construction and it felt bad. Making correct thoughts and behaviors seem wrong. Keep it up. California made anything stolen below $900 a non-crime. Those that made that happen are moving here because of you. They're in Austin, and Austin's moving here. It was 900 some odd dollars. I think it was pretty much it's closer to being just shy of 1,000. Is a non-crime. So, if a car is worth a little over $900, well, somebody can steal that, and the cops won't even pay no mind to it. You spend $900 on a watch. Well, somebody can steal that, and the cops aren't going to care. The cash out of your wallet, purse. I'm just listing things that are around or below $900. I know you knew this. It's like telling you what you can put on the table. But yeah. And so, since that's there, eventually it'll probably be raised to whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if it next jump is to $1,500. Anything sold below $1,500. Oh, man. Alright, so they're in Austin. Austin's moving here. Treason. A violation of allegiance towards one country or sovereign, especially the betrayal of one's country by waging war against it or by consciously and purposely acting to aid its enemies. A betrayal of trust or confidence. So, I guess to betray trust and confidence, it had to be there in the first place. So that part of the definition, I guess, doesn't fit. But the violation of allegiance towards one's country, I'm pretty sure they take some oath to some degree. So, which master do they serve? Clearly not the people. And Mr. Kelbalaw, who is running, or I guess by the time this video gets seen by anybody, he ran and became the county judge. He called him on it. You're not representing the people. There's no way. Half of Wilco can come and talk about a subject, give all the facts that exist for that subject of why it's a bad idea to approve it, and they're still going to do it. Today, it was also suggested by another Williamson County resident, hey, you should get in there, change things from within. Because as long as the money's there, it'd be a good idea to offer them better options. It was the end of the conversation. He had things to do. I had things to do. I understand what he's saying. I don't have a vehicle. I cannot consistently get to wherever the job is. So while I have nothing but time on my hands, I can't get there. So, still, I'm useless. But, yeah, if I can get a vehicle, I'm willing to say no to some contractors. It's driving up our car insurance. It's driving up our taxes. Uh, and we're not getting what we should out of our taxes. And it's driving up our debt as well, especially when it comes to bonds. And if you don't know how a bond works, in the sense dealing with the county or the cities, it's people vote to go in that amount of debt for that given reason, be it a road bond, a school bond. The money's essentially created out of thin air, and that's put towards the city or counties, even states' debt. So, yeah, a bond is synonymous with debt in this context. Remember those that were here for Tito and Hutto. Eventually, some will become our politicians. Keep using our funds for developments, and it'll happen. You build it, they will come. Essentially. So pretty much for the next couple weeks, I know this is probably already 20 minutes worth of video, and no one's watching. I'm going to be saying the things that I shouldn't need to say, explaining things that shouldn't need explained. But clearly they do, because the cities and county are doing the same thing they've always been done. So I guess they don't understand what I'm saying. Maybe I should write it in crayon. Become a politician. Keep using our funds for developments, and it will happen. In Gerald, the Danik family essentially ran the town. They screwed up a good thing for themselves by building houses for people to move into. Now people know them as our hardware store, if that. So they essentially started building the Gerald area. People move into them, and now people don't even know who they are. They built houses for people to move into. Now people know them. Okay. I know most on this court have a firearm in their house, regardless of ownership. When these people take control, enact the red flag law, and remember how much they don't like you, nothing will stop them from saying they don't feel safe with a firearm in your possession. Someone will legally take it away from you. Possibly a responder that can't afford the cheapest of housing because of you. Those who say they'll protect you won't be capable. You won't be in those seats forever. So, they get tired of the job. They don't want to do the job. They get voted out. One way or another, they're not going to be in those seats forever. And they're making room for people that don't see eye to eye with them whatsoever, even in their lies. They're claiming to be red, and there's people adamantly blue. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, they'll eventually become the majority at this rate. And some people think, no, I'm a bit pessimistic. Err on the side of caution. Expect the worst, hope for the best. It's so far served me well. So yeah, they didn't have places to move into here. Then that wouldn't be an issue. And I'm all for somebody having a house. I believe everyone should have at least a decent house. But when you're coming to a new area and screwing up their lives, that's where I have the problem. If I go to any European country, or I guess Britain now, well, really any of the countries by America, and I try to instill American way of doing things, I'm mostly going to get beaten half to death, if not to death. So it doesn't fly anywhere else, but supposedly here it's good. And if you don't know what a red flag law is, I'm pretty sure by the time anybody watches this, it's already in effect. It means, I think it's mainly for firearms. If anyone, for any reason, says, I don't feel safe with this person having a firearm in their possession, the cops have to come and take away the firearm. So the person could have just said, F you to someone, Well, that person who got told F you will go to the cops, go, hey, I don't feel safe, blah, 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 with the person that just said F me with a firearm in their possession. I mean, it's any reason. It doesn't even have to be a reason, actually. You know? So these politicians, people already don't like them. So when a red flag law comes into play, all you have to do is, I don't feel safe with commissioner, judge, city council member, blah, 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 with a firearm in their possession. And someone will come take it away. You know? Gone dark. Alright. And we're back. Go visit San Francisco. Homeless and needles almost everywhere. Can't walk down one city block without an aggressive person approaching you. My July Special 1 has links to what I'm talking about right here. That's our future. And that's why I always reference New York. Well, I mainly reference California. But, New York, California, they screwed up their area, and they're coming here and doing the same thing to us. Not like we weren't screwed up anyway, but they are speeding things up. So it's our future. That's why I reference it. Wilco admits no one wants what's being done, and in the same breath says it can't be stopped because it's planned. While on patrol on a planned route, we come across an improvised explosive. It makes no sense to continue as if it wasn't there. And yet, that's what the county and every city within is doing. This construction is like a laceration politicians perpetuate. Then some idiot comes along and looks at the space on either side of the road and says, let's build more, making the laceration worse. No rational person moves up their death sentence. It has to stop somewhere or most will be homeless and our resources gone. More is done for Sun City than residents. The reason I'm not including Sun City as a resident, because they want their own things. They want their own community. They want their own fire station. I don't know why they don't have their own complete grocery store. Sun City asked for it. The city and county gives it to them, no questions asked. And I hear that's the same thing that's happening out in Arizona. For some reason, Sun City asks, Sun City gets. A resident asks, hey, stop doing this stupid thing. It's screwing us up. Here's why it's screwing us up. Yeah, but Sun City wants a road. All right, we'll give you a road. Wilco has told a resident of 28 years to leave before acknowledging any problems it created. My understanding is, if I was a company willing to do something that'll harm us, they'll listen. Because I'm a resident, I'm not worth hearing. I reference THF, Texas Housing Foundation again. Several citizens spoke out against it, and they still went for it. I'm not asking what the county can do for me. I'm telling the county how I can help repair us. I think I said restore. It was repairs. Anyway, yeah. So my ideas will help us. It's just they don't care to listen. Because, whatever reason they give. It's an excuse at this point. Alright, it'll bring money into the county, which will take care of our debt and pay for some things, and we won't have to sell our farms. It's a win-win-win-win situation. Win. Anyway, it's several people winning with these ideas. I don't think I said it in this one. Maybe I said it in the next speech. Or last speech. I've had nothing but 8 years to run the ideas through their paces. I've thought long and hard about them, especially on the long part, and I've worked out most of the problems. Now, yes, there's going to be problems. Of course, there's going to be issues, hiccups, kinks in the works, but it's really with anything. I've thought about all the angles I can possibly get, and then somebody's going to come along and go, hey, did you think about this? I want to have to work that out. That's going to have to be, even with a think tank. But our current politicians have no care. Wilco spends our money outside of contract because a contractor helps with the roads. If the county said no to them in the first place, we wouldn't need a contractor's help, saving us hundreds of millions a year. There was something today they were talking about that it was hundreds of millions. It's like, are you kidding? You know, it's well, we wouldn't need to go. I'd say 100 million. I double dog dare. Yeah, I said double dog dare someone from the county to make sense of this. Wilco prefers doing what it can to make our lives worse and dissuade me from my pursuit of happiness and participation in the government process instead of spending that energy making our lives better. Someone from the county disagrees with me. Come up here and say so. Otherwise, STFU. Yes. They all want to come to me on the side, act like they're my friend, and then go, well, don't come up here in some way, shape, or form. You know, I don't remember if I said it on video, but when you're non-violent, they don't know what to do with you. And that's where they want us. They want us to be violent. They want us to put a point where riots happen, because then they know how to handle it. They know what to do. Slap the handcuffs. Several problems, one easy solution. And if you're non-violent, there's nothing they can do. You know, plus, you know, you hear from the people, you don't have to fear them. So yeah, that concludes. Alright, gonna go dark again. Let's see here. Alright. Looking over what I plan for next week's speech. Alright, I will be going over, talking about medical field a little bit. You know, doctors, they're leaving because they can't pay the taxes. You know, which is essentially saying, if a doctor can't make it, you know, how's the rest of us? And I originally pointed that, I am pointing it, but where it said, Commissioner Covey, you know, your kid's going to the medical field, and he's going to have nowhere he can afford to live, no matter how much he's paid. People are done spending $500+ for 3 minutes of a doctor's time. I mean, you're getting nothing fixed. Okay, you have this problem. Alright, we have these options. What medication do you want? You know, that's it. And then you go over the medications and go, oh, I'll get this. And then you're paying a boatload of medication. I probably can't say this enough. The reason I don't speak about an agenda item much anymore and leave after citizen comments. The county and every city within is predictable to a fault. If it's good for us, chances are it won't be make it to the agenda. If the agenda item is bad for us, it will be approved. Provided it's really bad, they'll only talk about the agenda item behind closed doors. This tells me politicians know it's wrong. Kabbalah touched on that last bit right there, talking about things behind closed doors. You know, I can understand talking about some things, well, really anything behind closed doors. All right, let's get our thoughts in order. Let's get the options in order. You know, so it's not surfing the net, searching the law books, which they clearly don't consult, and figure out what we can do, what we can't do, what we shouldn't do. You know, no, they don't do that. They talk about things behind closed doors that are good for no one. And they, from talking to them, when things get really bad, they plan to leave. On top of that, they, I promise will be the last thing of this 30 minutes. When things get, they plan, you know, things get really bad, they all plan to leave. So they're crapping on the floor and then leaving the mess for somebody else to clean up. While everybody else is wallowing in it. San Francisco is literally doing that. Every single word. Go see those links on July's special one I have. You know, on top of that, when cost of living gets too high, they give themselves raises. Well, that's great for them. But I think the people should have a vote on who and who doesn't get to get a raise that works for the government, whether they're a politician or not. You know? Alright. Took up enough time of no one. Thank you for watching. No construction. Have a good one.